Okay, very happy to be joined by a man widely considered one of the top prospects in the UK today. 6-0, 4 by finish. He fights FCC 41 this Saturday, where he defends his FCC Featherweight Championship against Marcio Flaverio. Um, the Pink Panther, Kurtis Campbell. How you doing, man?
I'm all good. Everything's well. I can't complain. Just on the hour water loading, so feeling like a fish tank.
Yeah, like you say, Waterload, we're only a few days out. We're getting close. How are these next few days going to look for you?
Not pleasant. Just obviously low carbs, low salt. So Charlie Mitten, my nutritionist, does his best to make it easy as possible, and I can't go wrong. But weight's good. Everything's good. I can't complain, to be honest. Obviously, no one likes cutting weight, but it's a part of the job, and it's got to be done.
We'll kick it off here. We mentioned the run there, 6-0, 4 finishes to kick off the pro career. Do you feel any added pressure the further you get in to kind of keep that run going?
No, not at all. I think this is what I was built to do in my life. This is what I've dreamed of, being in these positions. So I'm just taking every opportunity with both hands.
Yeah, I mean it's a run that's getting you noticed though. Like you say, one of the top prospects in the UK, if not the top prospect in the UK these days. Um, FCC, a part of UFC Fight Pass these days, so a lot of eyeballs on the shows. We see what you're wearing there. You are signed to Venom, who, they're the clothing provider of the UFC. It's all just getting your name out there in front of the right people, isn't it?
100%. I think I've just got to make, the right step each time. Everyone says one step at a time, but you just got to make sure you're taking the right one. So I'm not going two steps back. So I mean, I can't complain. I've been doing everything well. So I think just got to keep doing what I'm doing, keep my head down, keep working hard, and stay humble with it. And hopefully, these opportunities that I've got so far will keep coming, and new, bigger and better things.
I talked to Connor about it yesterday, but how did the Venom deal come about for you, and what was your kind of reaction when you first got told about that?
So his name's Ian Munsberger, and Ian's a good man. He does a lot of background stuff, the UFC. That's sort of his job. And I've been speaking to Ian quite a lot, and he said, "Listen, I'm sort of working towards something, and I think these have approached and they're looking for top UK fighters or just top upcoming fighters, and I think they want you to be one of them." And obviously, I had a big smile on my face happened, and here we are now. I'm 2 years deep in with Venom, and I don't think I go back at the minute.
Right, of course. Marcio Flaverio is the opponent. I don't suppose you would have known too much when that name came to you, but what have you been able to see, and what are your thoughts on him? Because 7-2 guy, 5 fight win streak, all by finish. All of his 7 wins by finish. Coming over from Brazil to fight you, so this is a big fight.
Yeah, 100%. I take every fight like it's my biggest fight of the career. So, everything's on the line Saturday, the belt's on the line, and, my old records. But, I think Marcio is a very good fighter. I like his style. I think he's got some nice finishes, and, it just makes it more exciting for me. I'm looking forward to get in there and test myself against him, and, you know, and still 7-0.
How do you think he compares skill-wise to the guys you've been fighting before?
I think he's up there. I think he's one of the best that I've fought. But I think I've been tested, and I've had tough fights against people, especially from Brazil as well. But Lima, I've had tough fights against Sean Perro and stuff like that. So I know I'm built and I know I'm ready for it. I just don't think he's had the same level as challenge that I'm going to bring to him on Saturday.
And what do you think it says about you when FCC are bringing in a guy like that to fight you?
You know, I mean, I just want hard fights. My dad's just always searching for the hardest, meanest man. And, Valerio is on a little win streak. He's doing well. He's got himself a little name. So I'm just there to derail that train.
Yeah. Last time we saw you in action back in November, so it's been a little while now. So you've really had the time in there to kind of put in the work. What's going to be different about the Kurtis Campbell stepping in the cage on Saturday from the guy back in November?
I think I level up each camp, and my mindset especially has changed towards everything. And Saturday night, I'm looking another. It's the entertainment business. I'm looking to entertain and perform and do what I do best.
Yeah, and obviously, I know the last few years you've been out to Thailand a lot as well. I was talking to Connor yesterday about this, the experiences you've all had out there. But how beneficial has that trip been, or these trips been, in terms of making that development you're looking for happen even quicker?
The massive. I think also with the coaches around Bangtao, it's leveling up all the time, and the facility. Everyone knows Bangtao's known for the facility that it has. It's incredible, but I think the bodies that they bring. There's people all over the world traveling there, so the rounds that you're getting, yeah, you're seeing new bodies, new styles every other day. So I think to evolve as a fighter, it's definitely good to go over there and get some working with them, because you always learn something new. It's out of your own gym, and I think now with the relationship that I've got with Bangtao, and I'm going to be going every year, 100%.
Yeah, because when I was talking to Connor and we spent a couple minutes talking about Brad Riddell. It's like obviously people see what he's like in the UFC, but in terms of coaching as well.
This is one thing, like, Brad, when our second year when we first seen Brad, he was sort of in like fight camp. So as much as I was getting work with him in the gym, I weren't really getting coached by him. And then we went back the third year, and wow, he was taking the striking classes, and he was taking like other different classes, and he sort of like, like all of us, he sort of took his time out the way and put a little bit of time and effort into all of us. And like he's quality, the knowledge that he has is endless, and he's just 100% to say if anyone can get out there to learn from him, I really do highly recommend it.
Yeah, it's got to be crazy as yourself, Connor, guys early in your career to just look around and like, oh, there's Weili Zhang, UFC champion.
Well, first time I seen Whaley, I heard it must have been really early in the morning, like 7:30. Like whoom, whoom, big kicking pads, and I was thinking, poof, who's on the pads there? That sounds tasty. So I went round to the Thai area. There she was. I thought this was like some middleweight or something, and pads whipping the kicks in. Wow, that's one. She is incredible, to be honest. And like, as much as I do like it, like my favorite fight has always been Joanna Jędrzejczyk. So it was a
Yeah.
little bit like I can see why, and it's sort of that, like, I was always heartbroken that she got beat for the title on that second one, but I can see why. I can't take nothing from Zhang. She is unreal.
Yeah. Obviously, the one you've been on, basically the biggest name in FCC. I don't think you'll argue that. Um, you've had a big name since the amateur days, though, to be fair. You've really carried that on to FCC, and FCC has really grown with you as well. Um, feels like there's a lot more tension on their shows over the last couple of years, obviously with Fight Pass and stuff as well. I guess how proud does it make you to not only be able to grow yourself, but to grow alongside a company that has shown a lot of faith in you from very early?
Yeah, it's nice to have, because FCC have always treated me really well, and they've always got me tough competition. I've only asked. I want the hardest fights that you can get. Whoever you can find me them, and that's what they have done. Like, I think me first FCC was Steph Murray. He was a killer. Then Teddy, then Milos, and that was just me amateurs. Do you know what I mean? And then obviously now moving to pro with them, I've stayed with them for me 6 pro fights, and they're only leveling up like each show, and I'm doing the same with them. And like I do think the show, especially in the past few years, it turned itself round, and it's really a top UK show now, and maybe a top Europe, because we're bringing people from all over the country.
Yeah, of course. And I mean, you're 6-0 right now, looking to become 7-0 this weekend. You see guys signed to the UFC with records like that these days. I mean, I think that's fair to say. I know you say you want to take one step at a time, but it doesn't feel like a million miles away at this point.
Yeah, I don't think the UFC is a million miles away at all. It's just the difference between these people now. They'll be like 26, 27. I'm only 22 years of age. So
Yeah.
I know Raul and stuff like that went in at 18, but that was his choice. And I just want to make sure I'm shit, like the iron is sharpened to its max before I do get to that UFC because you see, for example, you see a lot of people with the hype and then they go in there and, the levels a big jump in the UFC. So you see a lot of people get sort of shown like, yeah, I would just say it like, I don't want to say it without sounding bad. Just sort of like they're not where they should be at that point, and the record may be a bit padded more than it was. So I just want to make sure I've had all the tests and I'm ready for when I do make my debut.
I mean, you look at someone like Paddy, right? He absolutely turned down the UFC once, maybe twice, and then he finally goes in there and look at the run he's been on, and he's like almost a top 10 guy now.
Exactly. I've been like, there's a few guys that I always like look sort of, and one of them that I sort of looked at the route was Jack Della Malarena, and the
Yeah,
welterweight, like he held off UFC like a year or two, I think, and he went on beating more people, and then he had that experience behind him when he went in there, and like he's another one like Paddy, just done an absolute tear up, and now he's fighting Bilal for the belt. So that's the sort of run that I want. Ilia Taporia straight for the belt, and they're the runs that I want.
yeah, but I mean, I guess we touched on FCC there as well, but to get to this level right out of FCC would be a huge feather in your cap as well, because obviously it's almost the way to do it from the UK has been to go through Cage Warriors. There's
Yeah,
so many guys who have taken that route. But I mean, I guess to get to the point where people are talking about you with the UFC without needing Cage Warriors, it says a lot about you, but it says a lot about FCC as well.
definitely, and I think people miss Lerone Murphy. I think went from
Yeah,
FCC to UFC, and I'm just trying to follow his footsteps, and that's where I want to go because I do think Cage Warriors is a massive platform, and it's held great shows. But I think for my route, I think I'm doing right for me. And what's best. So I'm fighting these tough guys, these tough Brazilians, from all over the world, and they're the test that I believe that I need before making that big step.
like I said, I talked to Connor Walsh yesterday. I know you guys have a great relationship. Firstly, talk a bit about that relationship, but also, even though you guys are both a similar age, he talked to me about being able to learn a lot from you as you are, those couple fights ahead in terms of development than him. Um, so it's clear, even at your age, you're becoming a mentor to a lot of people. How is that for you?
Massive. I think I've always been the student, so that's how I've always looked at MMA. I'm that mixed martial artist looking to be the student all the time. I'm always trying to learn, and so like to hear that off Connor, it's really nice. But we've been mates now for a very long time since he come to the gym, and he sort of jumped in our little mate group with me and Charlie Barmer. He's on the card also. He's just
Yeah.
still amateur, be looking to make pro soon, definitely. But there's like a little triangle, and we've got a few mates that don't compete regularly in MMA, but at the same time, they still train her all the time. So we've got this little group at the minute where, unfortunately, we make our sacrifices. We don't drink or nothing like that, and it's just a little killer group. So to now that we're leveling up with each other, we're teaching each other things. If we see something on like a fight on the weekend, we come in, we drill it, we teach each other. So I think we're just a group of young, hungry lads who want to get to the top. So we're all just pushing each other.
Yeah, and like you say there, being on the same card as Connor and as Charlie has got to be pretty nice, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think the last time we were on the same card, I think was maybe just over a year ago in the December. That it was just three big wins that night as well. So we're gonna look to do the same. And every time I think we fought on the same card, all three of us. I don't think any of us have lost. So but we're gonna bring that energy that we always do, blow the roof off Bolton Macron, and go home and get a pizza.
Yeah, obviously representing Liverpool, fighting city, huge heritage in fighting in boxing and MMA. But in MMA, Terry Etim, Paul Kelly, to then Darren Till, to then Paddy and Molly, to then and then you're a part of this new wave of Scouse guys, like you say, with yourself, Connor, Charlie. Luke Riley is another guy who's really made a name for himself in Cage Warriors. Um,
100%.
what does it mean to be able to represent the city like that, especially a city that's so passionate about kind of getting behind their own?
Yeah, well, it's a fighting city, and
Yeah.
everyone says it. Like, we are just, if I could be anywhere in the world, and if there's another Scouser there, we'll make conversation because it's just that's just how we are. But I think with the city now and how MMA is evolving, especially in Liverpool, there's a massive, massive following. So I think now is probably the perfect time. Like Terry Etam, Paul Kelly, and Darren, they didn't get the same probably recognition earlier on in the days that they should have. Probably hence why Darren was fighting on a lot of the Brazilian shows and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
now there's a platform for that, and there's like my generation coming through now with Connor and Charlie and stuff, and then there's all little killers that are in the gym now. All the little young ones that are all, I think, took 14. I think they took 30 kids to the IMF to Serbia, and I
Yeah.
think 15 were just out of the gyms that I go to. So it's half of the IMF team is just from the gyms that I'm going. So the generation of MMA, especially through Liverpool, I don't think it's going to slow down anytime soon.
Yeah, I asked that question to Connor almost word for word, exactly the same as I asked it to you, and he gave me a remarkably similar answer.
Definitely, I think
Yeah.
it's very much more like a family than a gym. Everyone's very close with each other, and we do get on each other's nerves, and it's not always sunshines and rainbows, but the relationship that we've got with each other, I should be able to tell someone if they're wrong, and they should be able to tell me. So I think that what we're doing, it, something's right. If it's not broke, don't fix it, and here we are now, 6-0.
Right. Just to finish off, we got a bit of a quick fire segment. We talked about this a little bit at the start.
I get
I
ready
think
for this
one of
one.
the yeah. Favorite food,
Chinese.
favorite drink.
Dr. Pepper Cherry Crush. If I'm in fight camp and dieting outside, McDonald's Oasis.
Yeah, I'm gonna get the clips of you and Connor both saying that and put them together. What's the go-to breakfast?
Full English, but at the minute, the missus has got me on like an eggs. Well, I always get an eggs Benedict when I go out, and eggs Benedict has been punching up a little bit. So when I do go for the breakfast, I'm always getting the eggs Benedict.
Favorite movie,
Kickboxer.
favorite TV show.
Ooh, that's a good one. At the minute, I'm really enjoying Vikings. I've just got into it. Vikings are good, but favorite all time Benidorm.
I think Connor said Benidorm as well.
Yeah. Honestly, all I watch is Benidorm if I haven't got anything else to watch. It's like on replay. I think I've watched the 10 seasons maybe 50 odd times. It's bad.
Yeah, it's like I've done a few interviews the last few days, and I knew some. Yeah, I think yeah, it was definitely favorite musician,
Um, J. Cole,
favorite sport other than MMA.
swimming.
What was that? Sorry.
Swimming.
Yeah,
If I didn't go into MMA, I'd definitely be a swimmer.
yeah.
Yeah, defo. I
We
really enjoy the
we
city and stuff.
yeah. Favorite fight. So we'll do favorite fight of your own, and then a favorite fight to watch.
Um, Favorite fight to watch: Eddie Alvarez versus Michael Chandler on Bellator. I think it was. That was a
Mhm.
scrap. Favorite fight of mine. I think Teddy Stringer's up there. Just because I like the state that I got into, and I really like the Lima one when I won the belt.
Yeah, that Teddy Stringers fight is one that's aged well, given how well he's doing in Cage Warriors as well.
100%. Teddy's a good lad, and he's took that route, and hope props to all of them. He's smashing it now.
Yeah. Favorite fighter.
Joanna John Jacek.
Yeah. Favorite submission to practice.
Ooh, I like a rear naked choke, to be honest. Just nice and simple. That
Yeah.
or a guillotine.
Nice. Funniest person you've met in MMA.
In MMA, probably Tai Tuivasa.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ty's hilarious.
Um, and finally, the best piece of advice you've been given.
Best piece.
Best piece of
Um,
advice.
it's the little things that matter, and if you can't do the little things, then you don't matter.
Yeah, it's a good line. That's a good line.
Yeah, that's definitely one that I've always took.
Yeah, no, that's all. I want to thank you for taking the time today, Curtis. FCC 41 goes down this Saturday, Bolton Wanderers Stadium. I forget what the sponsor is these days. It used to be Macron, it used to be Reebok. Um,
Even have a
yeah,
clue to be fair.
if you're not there, UFC Fight Pass, of course, is where you can watch it, just like every FCC show. Just finally, Curtis, give us the hard sell. When yourself and Marcio Flavio step into the cage, your FCC championship on the line, what can the people expect?
you know, Exciting things gonna happen on Saturday night, and I'm gonna push the pace, and we'll see if he's brought his armbands because he's going into deep water.
Nice. I want to thank you for taking the time today, Curtis. You like swimming. You don't need armbands, of course.
Exactly. Get me in the water.
Yeah. Thanks for taking the time today,
Thank
Curtis.
you for
Best
having
of
me
luck.
on. Thank you. I
Best of luck.
appreciate it.